Hello everyone, how is it going? Um, welcome back to another video. We have the SPC 3-day outlook. We'll go in depth on mainly today's as tomorrow, and day three don't look too promising, but again, day three is still pretty far out, so that can get changed, and it probably will. Um, but what I think isn't what happens, but it could happen. So let's jump into today's outlook and go in depth. As you can see, we have a large slight risk that involves North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, Oklahoma, and Texas. An enhanced risk, which includes most of Nebraska, some of Kansas, and then a little bit of the northeast corner of Colorado. Um, let's see what it's driven by. So there's a 30% risk of 2-inch in diameter hail in Nebraska, and a large 15% risk of 2-inch in diameter hail. Wind, there's a 30% hatch risk of seeing gusty winds of 65 knots or stronger, so 70-mile-an-hour winds. And then we have that 15% hatch risk for 55 or 50 knots or higher. The tornado threat right now, the highest we have is a 5% in Nebraska, and the rest is a 2%. Depending on what happens here, I might go live later this afternoon, just because these storms are going to be moving into my area and stuff, and I want everyone to be aware of what could happen. Like, just because the threat is a 2% does not mean put your guard down. I mean, last week we live streamed down in Texas with a 5%, and there was a tornado emergency, which is the strongest warning that the National Weather Service can give with a tornado. So, um, yes, just because it's 2 to 5% does not mean that something crazy can't happen. But yeah, that's for today. As we go into tomorrow, it shifts down south. So now we have a large marginal risk in Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, a little bit like Tennessee and Kentucky. Um, two small 5% chances of seeing hail, 1-inch diameter, a large 5% chance of seeing gusty winds of 50 knots or stronger, and then two areas that have a 2% chance of seeing a tornado. So overall, nothing too crazy expected for tomorrow. Um, Obviously, this is updated at almost 6 a.m., so stuff could change. But if we go to the day three outlook, now it's shifted more north again. So now we have Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, and Wisconsin involved in this one. And the probabilities of seeing anything, it's just a 5% chance of seeing severe weather. But this is still pretty far out, so nothing too crazy expected. Um, I do have, or I did slash do have some thunderstorms moving through the area. Obviously, this morning, the first punch through the morning won't be too crazy. Um, it's when we get into the late afternoon stages where the storms start to fire up and ramp up and make their way east. So do keep that in mind, as these storms that go through in the morning won't be severe. Um, they won't go severe until late this afternoon and into the evening. So I will go live with you, possibly. It all just depends. But yes, so if we take a look at the pivotal weather site, as you can see, the morning showers and storms kind of clear out of the area. Um, like I said, and it's not until late afternoon that the storms fire up out here in extreme western Nebraska, and don't really get going until the late evening hours and stuff. So why is it blue? There we go. Whoa, whoa. What is? going on here? Why is it blue? Whoa, what the heck? Okay, there we go. I don't know why it was blue there. But yeah, possible hazard type is severe weather. Um, can't rule it out. Maybe a brief tornado. Early on, nothing extreme will happen. But, you know, you did a couple more scans, and now the storms are fired up. Now they've moved over into the eastern Nebraska area and stuff, with the possible hazard type being so marginal tornado can't be ruled out now. I mean, look at this photograph. We have some pretty significant spin in the upper level of the atmosphere. So it looks like if a tornado does form, um, you could see a possible tornado strength of up to an EF2. So I mean, that's getting in that borderline significant tornado range. So with this sounding here, I would not be surprised if the SPC upgrades and issues a 10% hatch risk for a tornado out in eastern Nebraska. I mean, just with this marginal tornado possible with an EF2, in EF2 or greater, EF2 is the start of what they consider a significant tornado with significant damage and stuff. So I would not be surprised whatsoever if they do upgrade that tornado chance. Um, yeah, I mean, Cape is at 1746, so 1746. So that is enough Cape for a tornado to form. Um, and three Cape is pretty high at 3707. These soundings though aren't the best to look at three Cape. They're pretty good at looking at the ground and mid level Cape. I mean, if you have ground level Cape at 1746 and mid level at 2190, you've got enough stuff for a tornado. So just stay weather aware and make sure you have ways of getting your warnings, whether that be a NOAA weather all hazard radio through your phone or your TV, whatever it may be today, as you will need them. Do another scan later. The storms move out of the extreme northeastern Nebraska area, but now they're in the southeastern and eastern part of Nebraska. Um, and yeah, by this time there are no possible hazards, as this will just be some thunderstorms. The cape goes down, the spin of the atmosphere goes down. Probably a cap formed out of southeast Nebraska. So then yeah, eventually after that, the threat goes down, and they move out of the area. So yeah, so um if anything changes on this, we will um I'll post something on Facebook, let y'all know. If you want to look at the counties that are involved, so for this hail, it looks like the farthest it stretches east is Boone County for that, and then the wind threat stretches all the way to Colfax County, Nebraska. So if you live from Colfax County until Custer County, you could see some pretty strong winds today. And if you live from Boone County out into basically the border, you could see some pretty decently sized hail. And now, I mean, most of these storms won't pop and pack a punch. This hail threat could grow larger, as I do suspect that it might. Um, Obviously, it might not, but just know that there's a pretty good chance with some of these storms today that you will see some hail, regardless of if you live anywhere in this yellow area today. You should expect to see some hail. It might not be this large 2-inch diameter, but it could be up to, a quarter size hail and stuff. So, luckily, the chance for 2-inch diameter hail isn't it isn't massive. I mean, it's still a pretty big area, but it isn't like a huge, devastating area. Uh, yeah, but like I said, this could change. This 5% could grow, or it could stay there, and then there could be a 10, or it could grow, and a 10% hatch risk could form for the heart of Nebraska. So just stay weather aware. I will post something on Facebook if anything changes. Um, but yeah, I think that'll be it for today's video. If you like, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified anytime I upload. And yeah, I think that'll be it for this video. So I will see you in the next one.